All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mason Kussmaul show. Sorry about that. They were giving me some weird stuff, and I was trying to figure things out here. So, welcome to the Mason Kussmaul show. I'm Mason Kussmaul. And first of all, I want to start off with apologizing because I'm probably going to be moving this camera around a lot throughout the show, and I apologize for that. I also want to apologize if my microphone's giving a little bit of an echo. I'm still trying to figure this out. New podcaster over here. So. But also, I'm really looking forward to the show. I'm planning to do this throughout the summer, and I think this is going to be a really great thing. I'm sitting right outside my porch, and I can hear inside they're watching the TV in there. It's actually kind of loud. I would appreciate if they turn it down, but it's all good. Welcome in to the Mason Kussmaul show. It's 7:01 here in Mount Hope Township, and this is the Mason Kussmaul show. Let's get to an introduction to the show. What you're going to be seeing. I'm planning to focus more on the River Ridge School District, my school district in northwestern Grant County. And I'm planning to focus on a lot of their events as well as some district events that will be throughout the district. Also, we'll probably throw in some Grant County events and Prairie du Chien events. We'll also do a little bit of weather. I'm a big weather history guy. And I like that kind of stuff, so we'll do a lot of that. Let me see if I can move this around real quick. Once again, I apologize. I had it set to what I wanted before, and then it just changed all of a sudden. Alright, let's try that. Alright, good. Once again, I think the live chat is open. You should be available to chat on there. So I want to start with an introduction, what you should be able to expect on the Mason Kussmaul show. I usually like to start off with a little bit of a weather forecast and then go into some events and all that. But yeah, I'm extremely going to be focusing on the weather today because tomorrow we're going to be seeing some rough weather. So let's dive right into the weather now. Once again, this is powered by Fox Weather. They're a great weather channel. You can watch them on your local streaming device. I think they have some great forecasting. They're great when it comes to hurricane season. So if you want to know more about the hurricanes, Fox Weather is great for you. And you probably can see I'm outside. It's a very beautiful day, and I really like being outside. So I'm hoping to get outside more throughout the show. And once again, hello to everybody who's watching live, and if you're going to be watching this in the future as a previously recorded video, that's okay too. But I much rather appreciate it if you watch it live, but that's alright too. Let's dive right into some weather now. This is for Mount Hope, Wisconsin. And once again, if you live in southwest Wisconsin or northeast Iowa, this is going to be pretty much accurate for you. So even though it says Mount Hope because I live in Mount Hope, doesn't mean that this isn't for you. I don't have to lay attention to this part. I paid attention to this part. So today it's a beautiful day. We have a high of 68 degrees. The current temperature is 65. The feels like temperature, I don't know. They're not 65. It feels a little colder than that with the wind blowing here, but that's okay. Tomorrow, though, is the day I really want to focus on because tomorrow we are in the level 4 out of 5 severe weather threat, which is not a good. You don't really want level 4 out of 5. Why? Because the higher you get, to those of you who aren't familiar with the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, the higher you get in the thing, the higher the severe weather potential. But I don't want this to freak people out and stuff because I remember last year we were in the level 4 out of 5, and I remember we didn't really get anything last year, and a lot of times that happens. So just get used to it with a lot of the stuff they put out there. But let's get into this. Tomorrow as the day overall, we're expecting cloudy, just cloudy really. And that's going to be a lot of people fooled. This isn't really a level 4 out of 5 severe weather day. Well, it will be. Just wait. We have a high of 79 degrees and a low of 51. Now, in between 70s and even sometimes the 60s and the 80s, you don't really want them for severe weather. Why? Because that's kind of the right temperature for severe weather. So I think what we're going to be seeing, though, is the night. I want to focus tomorrow night. So I'm going to go to the hourly forecast here, and let's look at this. And tomorrow night, I think it's saying scattered thunderstorms, and what that means is it could be like a spotty thunderstorm. Like it could just pop up and go for like 5 to 10 minutes and then stop. That's what they're talking with scattered thunderstorms. But let's go to 8 p.m. tomorrow night. I am seeing the first sign of thunderstorms, scattered strong storms. And what scattered means is basically a lower level chance rather than an actual thunderstorm. An actual thunderstorm, this is ongoing. It's happening right now. But scattered thunderstorms, and it's telling me scattered strong storms. Now, strong storms don't really come up a lot on this app, and usually if they do come up, it basically says what it is, strong storms. So, I have scattered strong storms here, which means if there is a thunderstorm, which there's a 35% chance of precipitation here, that means the storm could be rather strong and even potentially severe. And luckily, I don't see the severe weather tag on there yet. But as we go into the night, there's a chance of more storms, and even in daytime hours too, especially around sunset. I think that's going to be the trigger time when this all fuels up and comes to play. At 1 p.m., I want to go there is when we reach the 70-degree mark. We have a 17% chance of precipitation, which basically means we're not going to see anything, and it's mostly cloudy. And sometimes you don't want to see sunshine on a severe weather day. Why? Because that can give daytime heating, and daytime heating is what fuels these nocturnal or evening severe storms. And that's why you may think, a lot of people get fooled by that because they think, oh, it's a bright sunny day, but it's even if it's a severe weather day, sunny days aren't the best. Once again, I would just stay with your local weather app for information tomorrow. I'm not saying what I'm to conclude with this day in general. I'm gonna say don't be fooled by what your app tells you. I don't think it's gonna be a real severe weather day. I think it's gonna be one of those days where they say it will be bad. I'm only seeing one real chance for thunderstorms on here, and that's at 8 p.m., which I was telling you about earlier. And not even an inch of rain is expected there, so don't expect much. But let's go to Tuesday and Wednesday now. Tuesday, we have a high of 68 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. And it says cloudy skies early will become partly cloudy later in the day. Winds northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's another thing, too, I didn't talk about on Mondays. Winds, you always want to see that. It may say the winds are at 10 to 20 miles per hour, but it doesn't really tell you the wind gust. Wind gust, especially when the higher you get, if it's like 10 to 20, the higher you get for wind gusts could be about 30 to 40 miles per hour. And that's just a gust of wind that comes in for like a second to maybe a minute and then stops and then comes back again. That's a wind gust. But these are just regular winds they're talking about with 10 to 20 miles per hour right now. But otherwise, Tuesday looks like a beautiful day. The afternoon, I think, will be the best day to get out and do something. So Tuesday is definitely an outdoor day. Let's go to Wednesday now, April 30th. They're giving me cloudy skies early, a few showers developing later in the day. A high of 59 degrees and a low of 40 degrees with winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So there we decreased in winds. But we are getting that chance of rain on Wednesday, especially a bigger chance Wednesday night. And you probably saw last week we really had that chance of rain because it rained really every day. And a guy who mows his lawn a lot, which I'm pretty obsessed with right now. Don't worry, I won't be in a few months. I'll be groaning before I go out and do it. But a guy who really likes to mow his lawn like me, this is great lawn. You probably can see it in the back. One thing I like to do is show off my lawn a lot, and I think it's great. Really green right now, and that's what I like. But all thanks to that rain we got last week and those warmer temperatures and all that. But otherwise, it's looking really nice. Later in the, I will get more onto the later half of the week and the weekend forecast when on my show upcoming on Wednesday. So that will conclude our weather segment. Let's go on now to our River Ridge School District athletic events now. And once again, this is courtesy of the River Ridge School District webpage at rrsd.k12.wi.us. Without this page, I would not be giving this information right now. For more information, please check out this website. So tomorrow, Monday, April 28th, we do have some athletic events on the board. We have high school athletics. We have a baseball varsity game against Shullsburg Benton, and that's home at the River Ridge School District, Patch Grove, Wisconsin. We also have a softball varsity game at 5 p.m. Both of these are at 5 p.m. versus Benton Shullsburg at River Ridge School District. Both are home. At 6:30 p.m., we have a softball JV game against Benton Shullsburg at the River Ridge School District. And at 7 p.m., we have a baseball JV game against Shullsburg Benton at the River Ridge School District. So those are your high school athletics and really the only district events for Monday. Let's go to Tuesday now, high school athletics. Middle school athletics track, middle school match against Lancaster at home. This is a River Ridge, at River Ridge School District. I will be there doing that. I'm actually looking very forward to that. Baseball varsity game from 5 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. This is away against Belmont at the Belmont High School. Then we have a softball varsity game from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. Also away at Belmont High School. At 7 p.m. a baseball JV game away at Belmont at the Belmont High School, and at 7 p.m. a softball JV game away at Belmont at the Belmont High School. Let's go to Wednesday now. We have Wednesday, April 30th, no high school athletic events. So now let's launch into our district events for that day. So nothing on Monday, like I said earlier. Let's go to Tuesday, though. Tuesday, this is a district event for the whole district, meaning the school in general. It is Culver's Custard Day at 8:45 a.m. So if your child is enrolling at the River Ridge School District, they probably could expect Culver's Custard that day. I'm not really sure who the credit on that. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but I believe it has to do with the high school student council. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I hate giving out wrong information, but if I'm wrong, I apologize. So a big thanks to whoever is putting that on, because we most certainly appreciate it. Wednesday, April 30th now. It is an early release day at 12:30, our second to last one of the year. I also want to point out that River Ridge has, starting on Monday, 20 days of school left. That's really nice, actually. So the early release will go from 12:30. Your kids will probably be getting home off the bus a few hours early. The staff in-service will start at 1. And that night is the music department spring concert starting at 7 p.m. In the high school gym. I believe it will be from, correct me if I'm wrong, from 5th, I think it will be featuring band and choir, so some middle school band and choir and some high school band and choir. Once again, that's at 7 in the high school gym at River Ridge School District. Once again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I know this is my first day doing this, But anyway, now let's go to my favorite part of the show that I'm really looking forward to. I'm calling this part Mason's Moment. Why? Is because I give a little off-script talk segment where I just talk about a specific topic. And today's topic I want to talk about is something that a lot of people I think do a really good job of, and that is spending time outside in the summer. And I think it's a really important topic, especially on these nice days. Like, even these nice days when you have like mid-60s and it's only the end of April, that's still a really nice day. So it's really important to even get outside. Like, this is a perfect day to do like gardening or farming or mowing your lawn. I was doing that today. I really enjoyed it. So that's why I know I'm not saying this to a lot of people are like, well, I guess he's saying we're going to spend every single minute outside in the summer, even during a thunderstorm. No, don't do that. Just don't do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when it's a beautiful day like it is right now. You can see the sun. It's about sunset, but it's still really nice out right now. Like, you could go outside and play catch or something. Like, this is really nice out right now. And I'm just saying, whenever you get these nice days like this, there are plenty of things you can do. For example, I'll say some things I like to do. Mow my lawn, which has been said multiple times throughout this show. Two, I like to drive something around like a UTV or something involving farm equipment. I like to take my dog for a walk. My dog is very energetic, and he's always looking to do something. And if he gets bored, he's always right at you to do something. I like doing that. I do that every morning, by the way, so he can use the bathroom. I like to go out on the boat, and what I mean, my grandparents have a cabin along the Mississippi River. It's called the Ambrose Slough, where it's at. It's a really nice place. I think that's actually a really nice place. And, I like to sometimes, it's a beautiful day, beautiful morning, where it's like 70 degrees out. I like to take a kayak, and I like to just go out there. Because, it's really nice out. It's 70 degrees, and the sun's just coming up, and it's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's 70 degrees out. For me, the perfect summertime temperature is 70 degrees. I think it is, because 80-degree days, by mid-afternoon, you're outside for 2 minutes and you start sweating. If it's 70 degrees, you don't really have that problem, do you? So that's why I think 70 degrees is that perfect temperature. And, I'm fine with 80 degrees, too. Like, I think that's a perfect temperature if you want to go out in the boat or get in a swimming pool or something like that. Don't even get me started when we get up till 90. We live in southwest Wisconsin. We can go from in some of the incredibly warmest days that I've seen until I went to Florida and Texas. I've seen really warm days down there. Some of the incredibly warmest days, like 95, and we can also go to like negative 35. So I'm going to let some people do the math in there. I'm not going to bother doing that because I'm not that patient to do stuff like that. So I just think, yeah, it's really important to spend time outside. And even the winter. I know a lot of people don't like winter because there's one definition of winter, cold. And, I don't mind winter. I think winter is a good season. But the only problem I have with winter is when it's not snowing and it's just cold. Like, it's 20 degrees. There's no snow on the ground. You can do literally nothing outside. And that's why I don't really like winter. That's my only problem with winter. Otherwise, I think winter's great. I think it's a great season. You have Christmas. You have winter break, Valentine's Day, New Year's, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Some great holidays in winter. So, but a lot of people are like, winter's coming. Well, you can do stuff in winter, too. For example, you can go sledding. You can start a bonfire. Outdoor fires are very common in winter. You know why? Because they don't start forest fires when there's snow outside. They don't start forest fires. So, only if there's snow on the ground. And plus, it's a great way to keep you warm. But also, let's not... I don't know why I got off talking about winter. This is about summer. And every year... Well, for the past, 5 years now, this will be our 5th year, we've vacationed to Hayward, Wisconsin. And it's up north by the not too far from Lake Superior, Duluth, Superior. And it's on what's called the Chippewa Flowage. And it's basically this series of lakes. There's some lake, and then there's another lake, and they're all connected. And we stay at this wonderful resort. Great resort. Great people. I love it. And there's a reason why every year we've went back there is because it's a great place. There's great people, great things to do. You never get bored there. And, it wouldn't be possible without summer. If we didn't have incredibly, for example, imagine we lived in, northern Canada or even in Greenland, where they don't get to have this stuff. They don't have sunny green grass. They don't have palm trees. Shout out to my viewers from Florida. And they don't have nice gardens like this. They might have indoor gardens. They might have greenhouses. Greenhouse is right behind me over there, which, by the way, is flowers are growing great in there. Been in there today. Shout out to my parents. Great work in there. But anyway, so I think a lot of people sometimes Summer is just another season for them. For summer is probably this summer is my time. This is where my time to shine. I got my lawnmower. I got this green grass. I have a family with pontoon boats, which I'm very grateful for that we get to do that. And some people, they like to take a little taste of summer in the winter time when they, for example, I vacation to both Texas and Florida. I apologize if you're overwhelmed with me bragging about my vacations, but I like to do that sometimes. And we vacationed Texas and Florida, and it was both great down there. Texas was like 70-degree days, and I was just talking about how 70-degree days are outstanding days. And, yeah, I just think every season has its own little charm, They have great things that come, for example, autumn or fall. My birthday's in fall. Thanksgiving, Halloween. But there are also some bad things that come out of summer. Like, you get severe weather like this. Summer is when hurricane season starts, which we will be covering on the Mason Kussmaul Show. I will be covering all hurricanes that come near the United States. So stay with the Mason Kussmaul Show for more information on that coming up in the future. Which, by the way, hurricane season for the Atlantic starts on June 1st. So people are already preparing for that down in Florida, I'm sure, which is just about a month away. And it's also important that people stay very mindful during hurricane season, as that is when some of the worst weather is. But yeah, so back to summer now. I've gone off topic a little bit. Get used to that. We're going to have a lot of that here. Yeah. So, I just want to conclude because I was only expecting this to be a 10-15 minute show. We're already 20 minutes in, which is great. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm not doing anything else after this. I'll probably rewatch this and see what I can improve on. There's always room for improvement in everything you do, which is, I think, some people, a lot of people need to know that, because a lot of people think the first thing they do is correct. It's not always. Myself included. I'm not picture perfect. Nobody is. And summer, once again, to conclude, is a beautiful season. But I want to go into quick talk about spring, because spring is probably my least favorite season for basically one reason, is because mud. You have all that snow melting, and spring is... I don't think spring's bad. I just think if that snow melted maybe a little earlier than spring, it wouldn't be that bad. But, it's got to melt sometime. And that's probably the worst part of spring. And plus, the snow comes off the trees, and you just see this blank bark on the trees. It's just blank. There's nothing there. It's just the tree. And it's blank. It's blank bark. Nothing there. It's just the tree. And it's kind of disgusting if you look at it. And we live up, I live right next to an incorporated community of Millville, and you drive down into the valley sometimes, you just see it's not a pine tree or a tree that can't survive through the winter, it's just brown, and it's kind of disgusting to look at it, where usually I'm a guy who likes to look out the window and see what I can see, but when you see that, it's not really a fun sighting. And spring has, like right now we're in spring, alright? And it also starts to warm up here. And always say this, spring is the thick of severe weather season. Some people say, no, it's the summer. No, it's the fall. No, it's spring. Because that is when we start to warm up, and we've already seen deadly severe weather outbreaks. Not necessarily here in Wisconsin, but for example, the deep south, like Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, etc. I could go on with the list. Have seen tornadoes, and some have even been deadly, which is horrifying to see. I'll watch Fox Weather sometimes, and there'll be images of all these homes destroyed by, even EF3 tornadoes, and EF3 tornadoes aren't even that bad. And So it's just horrible to see, and it's one of those times where you can be thankful that we don't really experience that kind of extreme weather here in Wisconsin. We can. I'm not saying it's impossible. It absolutely is possible, but it's not extremely common. That's what I'm saying. But you can never say never, because something can always happen, and we can never say never about tomorrow's forecast either, because so a lot of people underestimate the weather. If you go back and look on my channel, there should be a flooding. I did like this all-out flooding video. That was, and I said in there that a lot of people underestimate flooding. Why? Because a lot of people underestimate flooding because it's because that's a lot of people think. Well, for example, I'm one of these people who live on a hill. And I like to underestimate flooding a lot. Why? Because I live on a hill. But there's always flooding. Like, there could be there could be this whole bunch of rain that just puddles up in my yard. I'd be extremely crabby and probably get really upset because that's just killing my grass. But, we have this puddle thing over here that whenever it rains, it's kind of designed to stop the water from invading into the rest of our driveway. And even that is just a small example of flooding. And a lot of people underestimate flooding, and but it's just flooding is one of those things where you can never really be certain. And flooding isn't really a thing that can be forecasted. You just kind of got to rely on how much rain you're going to get. The Storm Prediction Center's outlook for flooding, which if you go to the National Weather Service weather website, they will give you type in Storm Prediction Center or SCP, they'll give you outlooks and stuff. I'm sure they give you, if you watch Weather Nation, Weather Channel, AccuWeather, Fox Weather, they give you all that stuff on to much easier resource probably to use than going online, unless you're one of those people who are always researching stuff. But it's coming to my point is to never underestimate any kind of weather. And because I always say this. I like to look at the radar and see what other towns in my area are experiencing. Like one day I looked at the radar and it was perfectly sunny and clear here, but it was storming and raining in Bloomington, which is like 15 not even miles away. So that's just one example of something that can be underestimated when you see that, it's a beautiful day here, but if you travel a little bit to the south, it's a stormy and not really fun day down there. So, but, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. You get a rainstorm. Can't change that. Best thing to do is go inside and wait till it passes, and then when you can go back outside and roll in the mud or whatever if you want to be like that, but I suggest not to. You'll have to take a big shower after that, but it is up to you. I'm not here to judge your life, so. Well, anyway, that's, we really went off topic with that. I'm sorry, everybody, get used to that. We went talking about hurricanes in Greenland and Canada, and this was supposed to be in tornadoes, and this was supposed to be a topic about summer. But, you're used to that. This is a podcast. Anything can happen on here. To conclude, everybody, as I went over my expected time limit, I was only expecting to do this for about 10-15 minutes, but I instead did it for 7:30 right now. But, I really enjoyed this. This is probably one of the best 30 minutes I've had in a long time. And it's all thanks to you guys, your viewing contributions. Once again, the live chat is open. However, I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing, looks like already a rude comment. I also want to say, if you're going to make rude comments, do rude things, you are not welcome at this channel. And I will not be, and you will probably hear a comment back from me. So, just don't make rude comments, otherwise, I'm here to do this for fun, and I want people to enjoy this, because, I know it's it's better than some of the news we have nowadays. But to conclude, I want to thank everybody for watching. Once again, I apologize if the quality of you viewing this is really bad and hearing me. I know this thing echoes a lot. I'm still working on it. If I turn, it has a setting for echo for some reason, and if I turn the echo go off, the thing just mutes, really, which is kind of a problem. So, yeah. But anyway, I want to thank you for watching. I'm planning to go live again April 30th, which is this Wednesday at 2 p.m. And why it's earlier? Because River Ridge gets out early that day at 12:30 dismissal. Hopefully it's nice and not raining where I can be outside. Really beautiful. I wish I was facing the sunset. Maybe we could have watched that. But anyway, we're facing towards the east here. Not much to see but a cloud. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. It is currently 7:30 here, 7:31. And once again, this video should be available for viewing in the future. If you didn't get to catch this live, you should be able to view it still. If not, I will try and figure out that. I'm not this great. I'm not great with technology. I'm not Mr. Tech Guy or all that. So I don't even know how I'm supposed to end this live thing. It doesn't really give me a button to, but otherwise, and once again, thanks for everyone who commented in some nice comments in live chat. You can always give me a question. But once again, I see some a little bit of a rude comment on there. But if you have a comment about a topic, which is fine, and if you have your opinion, you absolutely feel free to state it. But if we have, for example, something that's not even related to the topic, and we're gonna have a problem there. We're gonna have a problem here, and I will report your comment if it comes to the point where it's very offensive. But once again, if you have your opinion on a topic, feel free to share it. I'm absolutely fine with that. I love hearing people's opinion, and I love hearing suggestions for my next videos. Feel free to suggest a Mason's Moment topic, because obviously that was the very lengthy part of my video, and it really went off topic. We took like probably 15 minutes alone on that. So once again, I'm really looking forward to Mason's Moment, the Mason Kussmaul show in general, and I'm looking really forward to this, and I can't say that enough. I could thank multiple people for this. I want to thank you, first of all, if you're viewing this, because you're the reason why this channel and this video is going to have so much success. And feel free to share this video, too, with others. The more, the merrier. I want to get that information out to people. Hopefully give a little information that can stick with them for a bit. And keep people informed, too. That's especially when we have these rough weather times, I want to keep people informed on some weather that we're facing. So, once again, thank you, everybody, for viewing. I will see you again Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m., and I'm looking really forward to seeing you there. Hopefully, I can see you live. If not, you can probably check it out on Mason Kussmaul Show on YouTube. So once again, thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you again Wednesday. Have a great first half of your week, and I will see you all on Wednesday. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I apologize if you're still watching this. I'm trying to figure out how to end this.